Hi Aries, welcome to Sweet Tea Astrology and Tarot. My name is Erica. Welcome to the channel. So glad that you found me. This is your mid-month February 2017 video where I'm going to do a little bit of talking about an astrological transit that I didn't mention and I didn't realize that I forgot to mention until after I uploaded all of the February videos. So I decided I would just talk about it in this video. So Aries, why don't you sit a spell so we can talk about your stars? And you'll be glad that you did, because there's some stuff happening. So, first thing, on the 27th or 28th of February, depending on where you live on the planet, we are going to have Mars, your ruling planet, the planet of energy, impulse, and aggression, paired up with Uranus, the planet of change, liberation, and rebellion, also shocks and surprises, paired up with Aries, which is a planetoid that is known as the goddess of discord, or the goddess of war, or Aries' little sister. When Aries was first discovered, she was given the nickname of Xena, warrior princess, in honor of the Lucy Lawless 1990s series on TV. So if you think of her in that way, that would probably be very appropriate. All of this going on in Aries, in your sign, directly opposite, playing tug-of-war in the sky, with Jupiter in Libra. Wherever Jupiter goes, he makes it bigger. And that can be for good or for bad, for better or for worse. This is happening between your first house and your seventh house. The first house is the house that's ruled by Aries. It also rules the head, and that'll be important in a second. So, first house, that's your personality, that's your appearance, that's your physical body. So it's the physical embodiment of who you are and how the world sees you, especially those who don't know you very well. And it'll be going directly opposite, playing tug-of-war against the seventh house, and that's Libra. That's the house of Libra. That's your partnerships, relationships, and how you identify who you are as an individual through those interactions with others. It also deals with counseling and with open enemies. This can be open enemies in an open court of law that you would testify against, people that you have an open beef with, and I also see it as arguing online in an open forum where other people can see and experience, witness, and take part of the argument as well as it happens. Now, this brings about an energy of later regrets, and there's a way that you can circumvent this if you so choose. Because forewarned is forearmed, you're watching this video and you know that this is going to be something that will pop up in your world. You will know that when people start testing you, to count to 10 and try to remain grounded. And to remember that you should use the energy or it will use you. And because we have Mars in Aries right now, our ruling planet in our sign, one of the best things you can do, Aries, is to get to the gym and work out physically. Physically wear yourself out. Cleaning, dancing, exercising, doing repairs, spring cleaning out your closet, whatever it is that you can do to physically exhaust yourself would be the best way you could work with this Martian energy that will be very strong and very potent on this day. If you don't work out or get that aggressive energy out in that way, then you may be dealing with some pretty explosive arguments or confrontations in your partnerships and relationships and how you identify with others. It could be also very explosive in counseling, and it could be explosive confrontations between people that you have open beef with or that you consider an open enemy. So, another thing that you need to be aware of, Aries, is that because we have Mars and Uranus in our sign, because I'm an Aries sun, migraines, headaches, head injuries, and dealing with just big-headedness might be issues that you deal with personally. But if you're dealing with other Aries or people that have strong Scorpio or Uranus energy, or Aquarius energy, will also possibly be dealing with those effects and impacts of this head injury, head hurting situation, overinflated head for some people as well. So, that's what's going on astrologically. Once again, remember that this energy is ripe for volatile confrontations, escalations, and arguments. And you may be initiating them because you're the one with Mars in your sign. So be aware. Also understand that eruptions are possible. And I've been explaining this as eruptions in your personal world, but also in the world around you. This can be socially, politically, or geophysically, because planetary alignments that we're dealing with do sometimes trigger earthquakes or volcanic eruptions. I follow 2 different earthquake forecasters on YouTube. One is Suspicious Observers, and the second is Diatrinium, which uses the planetary angles to forecast magnitudes of earthquakes, and he has been very, very accurate in his predictions for many of the earthquake activities that we've had. And Suspicious Observers is good at trying to narrow down the target zones of where the earthquakes may occur. So, these are all things that may be possible. If you are wise, Aries, you would be working out all month because Mars is in our sign, and as opposed to being aggressive towards the people that we love, it would be better to just put it towards proactive energy exertion and making ourselves and our bodies stronger and better for it. Now, let's transition over to the cards. I'm going to pull for you a card from the Sage Goddess Gemstone Oracle deck. I'm also going to pull a card for you from the Divine Circus Oracle deck by Elena Fairchild. And I'm also going to pull an oracle card for you from the Healing and Meditation Oracle deck as well. But right now, I'm going to take this time to remind you, Aries, that this is a general reading. So if this reading does not resonate for you, understand that's fine, because you have more than just Aries in your chart. You are more than just an Aries. Matter of fact, you have a little bit of each of the zodiac signs in you, some energy more strong than others depending on planetary placements and aspects. If you want to know more about that information, you can figure that out by Googling the words free natal chart. Y'all, I'm having such a hard time. I've been so tongue-tied for the last 3 videos. So yeah, Google the words free natal chart, and you'll need your birth certificate because that has your birth time, birthplace, and birth date on there. And it'll generate a chart that shows where the planets were when you were born. And that will show where your moon placement is, and it will also show where your rising or ascendant sign is. And that's what I recommend you watch, your moon, your rising, and ascendant or rising sign videos. Not just mine, but other readers as well. Well, once you've generated the chart, you can Google an online tutorial on how to read the chart, or you can watch YouTube videos on how to read your chart. And if you're still confused or don't understand, and you've already gone through all the process, and you still need help, you can send me a screenshot of the natal chart, and I will get back to you as soon as I can with your moon and ascendant / rising sign placements, because I think that's something everybody needs to know about themselves. And I don't charge for that service, but if you find value in the information that I give you, feel free to donate to the channel. I've had people email me and ask if I charge for telling where the moon and rising sign are. No, I don't, but I'm going to start saying that if you find value in what I'm telling you, you can definitely feel free to donate to this channel. Let me cut for you, Aries. Alright, what I'm going to do now is pull the cards. The bottom card is going to represent the underlying theme or the overarching energy. The top card represents the present. The second card represents the past. The third card represents the possible obstacles. The fourth card represents the possible help. And the fifth card represents the possible outcome. And now from the Healing and Meditation Oracle deck. I purchased this deck at a secondhand store shortly after I purchased my tarot card deck that I use for these readings. And it didn't have any author's names or title or any way I could give credit to who did this deck. But I do send loving, grateful energy out into the universe for those who put their energy and time into it, because this has been quite a little resonant deck, and it helps to also give guidance in where you can find healing or a space to meditate in. From the Sage Goddess Gemstone Oracle deck for my Aries friends for this mid-month February. Okay, Aries, while I'm shuffling, you are going to be playing host to not only that energy between the tug of war in the sky between Aries and Libra, but you're also going to be playing host to Venus in retrograde this year. Venus is starting to slow down right now, and will start her backwards motion in the sky at the very beginning of March. And so where Venus is right now, she will be revisiting throughout the spring months. She will transit between your first house and your 12th house, and then move back into your first house again. So, understand that you will be revisiting issues of love and money and relationships dealing with money and love. It could also be that you are undergoing some sort of a metamorphosis where your physical body is transformed and you feel better about yourself after the retrograde process as well. Because the first house is your physical body. And the 12th house is kind of a hidden house, a secret house. So yeah, I know I've started paying better attention to my diet and my exercise regimen because I really wasn't taking care of myself personally, and have put on quite a few pounds. I would also like to attribute that to my Saturn square Neptune eating my feelings. I'll be real with y'all. I have an Aries sun, but I have a Taurus moon, and I'm a Scorpio riser. This deck is the Divine Circus Oracle deck. It's by Elena Fairchild. She commissioned many different artists to do the artwork in this deck, and I'm not going to be able to give each one of them individual credit, but I do give loving and grateful energy out into the universe for those who put their time and hard work into this deck, because it is a beautiful, very resonant, very powerful deck that brings forth a lot of supplemental messages that really reinforce the tarot readings more often than not. And the back reminds me of the American Horror Story Freak Show series. Me being a Scorpio riser, I love that sort of kooky, spooky stuff. So, okay, Aries, I've got your cards pulled. Now what I'm going to do is hit the pause button really quick, flip these cards over, do the tarot math, and I'll be right back with your story. Hang tight, y'all. I'll be right back. Dadgummit, I knew that was going to happen. Hey Aries, I'm back with your cards, so let's get started. The underlying theme or overarching energy for this reading is the Two of Wands. I'm sorry, Zoe's walking around on my bed. The Two speaks to that Taurus ruled house of your money, values, earning ability, and self-esteem. It's also the house of your, it's the house of mine. Anything you point to, classify, identify, or introduce as mine to someone else would qualify as a second house item. The wands represent fire sign energy, and that is Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. You aren't having any direct second house energy, but that doesn't mean that you aren't faced or forced with some sort of decision that may be coming up. And it seems as though if you are being faced or forced into making a decision, you have a clear favorite or a clear favored path in line for you. You have your eyes on this prize and aren't even acknowledging this as a situation anymore for you. For some of you, you may be examining issues of the ninth house because Saturn is transiting through your ninth house, and that's the house of your worldview expanded through study or travel. It's your higher education, adventures in questing. It's dealing with foreign people, foreign places, and foreign things. It also speaks to your the study of foreign languages, astrology, philosophy, religion, legal system matters, and political system matters as well. That globe represents that ninth house for me. And Saturn is transiting that ninth house. So whatever isn't built strong to code will be toppled by Saturn to be built up stronger and more solid by you. It can feel like a cruel lesson, but honestly, it makes you a better version of who you are, and that brings the maturity that you need to help live this life. King of Wands is the center card, the present energy at hand. I believe this is indicative of you being the focus of this reading, Aries, because the King of Wands is a mature fire sign, representative of Aries, Leo, and Sagittarius. I feel like this is Aries because he's wearing the crown on his head and he also has red hair. Those things make me think of fire and the head. Aries rules the head. This king is courageous and brave. He's forceful and fierce. He can be self-centered and egotistical, but he's very expressive. He's very eager. He's really he can be imprudent, but he can be also very philosophical and open-minded and friendly. Just as open-minded as this individual can be, they can also be very closed-minded and very held to their beliefs. It really just depends on the person. It depends on the Aries or the fire sign that we are speaking of. But whenever I see a character or court card with the wand, it makes me think of a very phallic energy as well. With Mars being in Aries, it could be that you are feeling quite energetic physically. Let me put it like that. The card that represents the past is the Seven of Pentacles. The Seven is representative of the house of Libra, the house that represents your partnerships and relationships and how you identify who you are as a human being through those interactions with others. It also speaks to your counseling and people that you consider to be open enemies. That could be people you would testify against in an open court of law against. It could also deal with people that you just have an open beef with. I like to also see the 7th house as the place where if you're going to have an argument online and other people are able to see it and witness it and be a part of it, like a Twitter war or an argument on Facebook, that would happen under the 7th house, in my opinion, as well. The Pentacles represent Earth sign energy. The Earth signs are Taurus, Virgo, and Capricorn. You are dealing with Jupiter in your 7th house. So it could be that you're waiting on the promises of things that haven't fully come to fruition or haven't fully developed yet. You only have one down here. There's many more on the vine. There's a lot of potential here, but just because there's potential doesn't mean that there's going to be, that potential isn't fully realized yet. Things can go wrong. The Pentacles also represent money and resources. And Libra is ruled by Venus, and Venus is going to be doing that retrograde motion between your 12th house and your 1st house in the spring, coming up very shortly. So it may be looking at or dealing with reassessing your relationships, your money, your partnerships, or your dealings with money in partnerships, be them business or love. It could be that you're just looking at your relationship and seeing the amount of work or effort you put in versus the partner, and that can be in a business relationship or an actual love relationship, intimate relationship. But it's paying attention, being detail-oriented, focused, but also patient. The card that represents the obstacle, or the present obstacle, possible obstacle, is this High Priestess card. She's the second card in the major arcana. The High Priestess represents the moon, and the moon is that lunar eclipse that we're going to be experiencing in your 5th house, Aries. The 5th house is the house of Leo. That's the house of a couple of different things. I like to think of it as the house that has your fingerprints and DNA all over it, because it's where you have the most skin in the game. But it's also the house of sparks, creative sparks, romantic sparks, and that spark of life. It's where you go to relax and chill out with your friends. It's your pleasure seeking and your social circles, your social life. It's also where you fall in love, and that spark of romance, the spark of love. It's where you create your babies. It's that spark of life. And it's where the artist creates their masterpiece, the spark of creation. This High Priestess, like I said, is the 2nd house, or it represents the 2nd house, and that's the house of Taurus. That's your money, values, earning ability, self-esteem. The house of mind, anything you could point to, classify, identify, or introduce as mind would qualify as a 2nd house item. I feel like this is speaking to that 5th house lunar eclipse, and it could be an assessment of your values in that 5th house. What is important to you out of that 5th house? Who is important to you out of that 5th house? The obstacle may be that you need to assess it, but let's go deeper. This High Priestess represents the moon, and the moon is representative, or symbolizes the unconscious, but it also has links to our response and our intuition and just our emotions and the way that we feel. She, being in the obstacle position, could be dealing with secrets. If that's not the case, it could be that your emotions are an obstacle for you. Or just the fact that you're very, your feelings are also an obstacle for you at this time. Fifth house. Now, the possible help in the situation is the 6 of Cups. The 6 is that Virgo-ruled house of work and health, or competency and skills that you bring to the services that you provide. It also speaks to your day-to-day agenda, your daily life, and what you do to make your life easier on a daily basis, more efficient. The Cups represent water sign energy, and the water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. This is a karmic card. This is a nostalgic card. This is happy childhood, looking back on the past with fond memories. And I also see this as a card of benevolent sharing, meaning you are giving without the expectation of receiving anything in return, because this is just out of the kindness of your heart. And you've got plenty for yourself and enough to share with those around you that you care about. This could also be someone sending you flowers for Valentine's Day. Sending you flowers, like, to work. Or, heaven forbid, if you're feeling ill and possibly in the hospital, you may be getting flowers in the hospital. It's a really sweet card. I feel like this could also, because this is a card of karma, it could be speaking to that solar eclipse that's occurring in that 12th house at 8 degrees of Pisces, water sign, Cups. So it could be reflective very much of that karmic energy in that card. Or, like I said, looking back on things with nostalgia. And if it's that 12th house, it may be a secret admirer that is sending you the flowers. That would be sweet, right? The possible outcome in the situation is the 3 of Cups. And the 3 represents that Gemini-ruled house of communication, short-distance trips, siblings, cousins, and neighbors, or people in your neighborhood. communication is a pretty big area. It's how you speak, it's how people interpret you, it's how you interpret others, it's how you digest and consume information. It is your communication devices. It's how you get your message or your thoughts and ideas out into the world. It's also your commute, the path that you take and the vehicle that you use. The cups represent water sign energy. The water signs are Cancer, Scorpio, and Pisces. You aren't dealing with any direct third house energy, but I have a feeling that this there's going to be a lot of communication going on regardless, because these eclipses always make people very sensitive, and people get in their feelings and either talk about it or in some way or another express those emotions. So it could be that you want to go out with your friends and have a party, go out and socialize with your friends. There is a lunar eclipse occurring in that 5th house of pleasure seeking and your social circles and social life. It could be speaking to that. Just be careful with drinking and driving. Anytime I see the 3rd house and any cups whatsoever, it makes me think of overindulgence and thinking you're good, but you're not. Especially with that solar eclipse being in the 12th house and Neptune being there. It's like the influence of not knowing your boundaries or not knowing your limits is going to be possibly a problem. I also feel like for some of you Aries, this solar eclipse is going to take you by surprise. I feel like this red-cloaked individual is representative of the Aries in this reading, and you've got your back turned to the situation, so your guard is down. It could be that this 12th house situation, which does involve secret enemies, could possibly take you off guard. You could be caught slipping or half-stepping, if you will. It may be that while you're out on the town socializing with your girlfriends or with your guy friends, when I see this card, I literally think of that song, Shot, 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 Shots. It could be that you get a little socially lubricated and start talking a little bit too much, and maybe whatever you have to say gets back to the people you were maybe talking about. Now, I did the tarot math for this spread, and it ended up being 20. 2 plus 0 is 2, and that speaks to that Taurus ruled house of your money, values, earning ability, and self-esteem, your possessions, the things that you care about and want close to you and want to know where they're at, down to the last dime, or where your lover or partner or children, anything you love or care about is. You want to know where it's at. Like I said before, you aren't having any second house energy directly, but I do think that during this Venus retrograde, because Venus is the ruler of Taurus, there will be a definite reevaluation of your values and the things that you hold closely and dearly to you. Not just your possessions, but the way that you think, possibly even the way that you spend your money or the way that you earn your money. Because Venus is a planet that represents not only love, beauty, and harmony, but also money and resources. So, there's that. Now, from the Healing and Meditation Oracle deck, I pulled for you the Relaxation card. And this would be very beneficial for you Aries out there. And I'm not talking down to you. I'm with you. I'm an Aries sun. The Relaxation card would be very beneficial for us this month because of Mars and Aries being together. And Uranus in the mix is only spicing things up. It's only amping things up. It's like Aries with Uranus is like that static electricity in the hair, but Mars being there is that thing that makes the shock happen. That it's that sting of the pop from the shock from Uranus is the best analogy I can come up with. So yeah. The Relaxation card reads, in meditation, relaxation is as much a mental as a physical release. By focusing intently, you can use your mind to relax your whole body. So sit in a chair, close your eyes, and immerse yourself in these meditative thoughts. Consider the following, Aries. My goal is to develop deep inner calm and peace of mind. I will remain completely still for 3 minutes. As I breathe in and out gently, I feel the presence of my entire body. While keeping my back straight, I allow my whole body to relax. Relaxation would be a wonderful and beneficial thing for you during this month. Not only because of the eclipses, but also because of Venus doing her retrograde motion and Mars and Uranus playing pat a cake with the goddess of discord and war in the sign of the god of war, Aries. From the Sage Goddess Gemstone Oracle deck, I pulled for you Chrysocolla, I believe is how it's pronounced. Chryssocolla is how it's spelled. It deals with freedom, the divine feminine, and finding your voice. It also can help heal and amplify the vibrations of your heart and throat chakra. Now that's interesting because Venus rules love. That would deal with your heart chakra. And Venus is the ruling planet of Taurus. And you've been getting a lot of 2s in your reading, which deals with the Taurus house. Taurus rules the throat chakra. Very interesting. This gemstone is a sacred feminine stone that summons ancient intelligence and invokes your inner strength. You have pulled this card because you need courage to communicate your thoughts and wisdom with enthusiasm and a force of spirit. Meditate with Chrysocolla to find freedom, to channel universal wisdom, and to live in alignment with your highest good. The final card that I pulled for you is from the Divine Circus Oracle, and it is the 3rd card of this Oracle deck. It reads, Death shall not take him. That 3 speaks to the Gemini-ruled house of communication, short-distance trips, siblings, cousins, and neighbors. I've done a lot of talking about that house as well. It could be that you get some communication that makes you have to go stone-faced or make you have to employ your poker face. This card indicates that you are going to experience, that you have experienced, or that you will experience the impossible made possible. Divine intervention is going to breathe new life into a situation that you thought was over. So, no matter the setbacks, the dead ends, or the failures that you have endured, you will succeed. This card is an oracle of confirmation that you will succeed. While you're in free fall, fate will step in, destinies will be altered, and lives will be changed. But prepare to be dazzled by the brilliance of the universe and the divine timing that is guiding you to a more perfect path for a more perfect you. Aries, it's going to be a busy month. It's going to be a busy spring. And you're going to be at the center of much of the energy at play. You're going to feel aggressive. You're going to feel emotional. You're going to feel reflective. And you're not going to know what to do with yourself. So exercise to burn off that anxiety. To burn off that aggression. To help you in that Venus retrograde of transforming your body. It could really be very helpful and very healing for you. I hope you're well, Aries. I hope you enjoyed this reading. If you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And if you already did, I thank you from the bottom of my very grateful heart. This is the last video in this series that I'm doing, so that means that I get to do homework next. And then tomorrow I'll wake up and start on the series that I was intending on getting done for y'all, that I'd been talking about, that is going to speak to the spring eclipses and also Venus retrograde season. So, let me finish this video so I can get started with my next thing on my to-do list. Please take care of yourself. Please be kind to yourself, and please save some of that kindness for others, because we're all facing private battles in our own world that some of us may never speak about to another living soul. Breathe, Aries. Breathe, baby. You're going to be tested. You will be fine. Until next time, Aries, be calm. Use your energy in a proactive way. And I will see you soon. Take care. Namaste. And bye, Aries.